Many divine beings are falling short in understanding their divine purpose, their divine mission. As a chosen, many times we often use phrases like collective and light workers, star seeds. And regardless of whatever religious dogma or ideology you believe in, you understand that there's a prophecy somewhere along the lines that's tied into being a star seed or a chosen, a part of a collective. In fact, the very phrase or word collective means you're not an individual, that you are part of something much greater than yourself. Just as the cults and covens send their robots and flunkies and flying monkeys to stalk and harass and look like retarded, the same as being a part of a collective, you must understand it's not about your personal whims, your own selfish desires. Yes, it's cool accomplishing individual goals and working towards individual achievements. But as a part of a collective, it's your responsibility and your duty to understand that as a part of the collective, you eventually will be connecting with your soul tribe. Many of you are failing at being willing to connect with your higher self, let alone a divine partner. And because of this, it's holding up the overall progress, allowing these wicked and evil cults and covens to continue to thrive and creating chaos, confusion, and illusions, not only in the world, but over the collective who are supposed to know better, who are supposed to be working towards healing and delivering themselves from old timelines and ways of thinking. Just as you have these flying monkeys, these cronies, stalkers, looking retarded all day, every day, like the one that's in front of me now, you have to have the same zeal and fervor, I'll say. You have to have the same willingness to keep pushing. These energy vampires stop at nothing to try to harvest energy for those elite who have the money to send them in to hire a whole army to target certain ones of you. And many of you rather stay asleep and rather stay hiding and get to a certain point of delivering channel messages. And you just want to stop there because it's safe. When it's time for you to go further and advance yourself further, you don't want to trust your spirit team, your spirit guides, and your ancestors. You don't want to allow them to guide you further down the path of enlightenment, achieving the highest goals of coming into contact with your higher self, your higher consciousness, that divine union with your higher self, let alone a divine partner. Some of you are content with not having a twin flame or divine counterpart, and you're fine with being the librarian and being the, person behind the scenes that's spreading divine messages and truth. And that's fine. But even then, at some point, at some time, when the divine calls, you may have to, and you will have to, respond to that call, to shake and move, and to allow yourself to be guided wherever the divine calls you to be and go. We are failing at answering the call because we are too comfortable and too content in our own private spaces as individuals. We're being scary and not allowing ourselves to evolve beyond just our own individual successes. The divine is strategic in the way that they are using all of us. The divine is using us for each other to come together as a what? Collective. So if your divine partner or if your soul tribe member is in need of your assistance, a part of the puzzle, and you cower and you hide and you run or you drag your feet when you know your spirit team, angels and ancestors is guiding you to connect with your soul tribe, your divine partner, and you leave them hanging, you are failing at the obligation that you agreed to as being a part of the collective, walking with the divine. You're not allowing yourself to be a part of the overall bigger piece of the puzzle because you're stuck in your own private emotions and unhealed wounds. And yes, everyone grows at their own pace, but it's not meant to stay stuck in fear, uncertainty, worry, doubt. Even if you are afraid, if you're walking with the angels and your spirit team, the Most High, your gods and goddesses, your deities, whatever it is you subscribe to, because being a part of the soul tribe goes beyond ethnicity, race, color. It's about resonance, energy, frequency, vibrations. Just as these cults and covens are of all ethnicities and races and age groups, and they've all decided to sell their soul for chump change, and they've all decided to sell their soul to be a part of something demonic, wicked, and evil. So it is that the collective is different age groups who decided to answer the call and stand up for the divine. Don't allow yourself to be afraid. And if you are, work through the fear. But you not working through the fear is what's holding up the collective. It's what's allowing these cults and these covens and these flying monkeys to come up with strict strategies to trick and beguile you, to put you under a binding spell, to pull you off course, to pull you away from your true divine partner, purpose, and higher consciousness. Work through these fears because you're needed. You're not needed to stay stuck or think, oh, I built up a nice cushion, I'm going to just enjoy it. Because eventually, when the divine comes knocking and calling your name and you refuse to respond, because your refusal to respond, the divine, and I made a video about this about a year ago, will cut everything you covet and you see as important and valuable, will start to target and get your attention in those areas. So you will listen and pay attention. We must stop being afraid to take the next step, take leaps of faith and moving in the next highest direction. We got to stop being afraid of listening to our spirit team and our angels, because these cults and these covens, these sellouts, they're not afraid to stalk and harass and pretend to be normal citizens, these energy vampires. And therefore you cannot be afraid. When they stalk you and post up and watch you and they intentionally stop where you at and circle around you and record you, you have to know that you are doing something important. You are doing something special. You are answering the call, but it's not meant for you to do it alone. If you are part of a what? Collective. These devils are going to continue doing what they're doing. They can't do nothing else. They sold their soul. They don't have any uniqueness. They don't have any ingenuity. They lack creativity. These are energy vampires, narcissistic sociopaths. Who else will stalk people in their right mind? Who else will volunteer and sign up to sell their soul to be weirdo stalkers, except narcissistic sociopaths? Who else would take pleasure in ripping unions apart and stealing other people's person and making sure that people is isolated, except narcissistic sociopaths, all dressed in black or fatigues, color-coded idiots. So what you have to understand is you have to be just as determined to make sure you don't leave your soul tribe hanging, to make sure you are answering the call in a way that you are continuously allowing yourself to be guided by your spirit team. Don't be afraid of the what ifs. What if it doesn't work? What if I'm making the wrong choice? If your spirit team is guiding you, you are making the right choice. Everything is going to work itself out, even if there's a learning curve. But you can't be stuck. You can't allow yourself to be stuck and afraid. You got to answer that call and keep moving. Otherwise, you will allow yourself to be left behind. And that's not to say that you have to all jump up at one time. No, you all understand divine guidance and divine timing. But at some point, you can't make the excuse of divine timing. It's you procrastinating and being afraid. So after the void and the divine timing, you have to know when to get up and take that leap of faith and keep moving.